Aegon the Unworthy, had a son called Daemon Blackfyre with his cousin. Yeah, this family gets a little weird. So in Game of Thrones, Daemon Blackfyre is sort of portrayed as this mythic figure and everything else. He started the Blackfyre Rebellion. He was given the sword Blackfyre when he was, I think, 12. It says 12. Because he won a tournament, and that's when Aegon said he was his real stat, and da da da. But I feel like people hold Daemon Blackfyre to this mythic status, and I don't really know why. Because I've read the wiki, I've read the characters, and I've even read some of the from the books. The way they talk about him is like this real mythic figure, and how great he was, and this basically the ultimate badass compared to Daeron. But I don't really believe that, since all we get from him, he's kind of written as sort of like this person who was sort of pushed to do everything. Like when he rebelled, out of everything, the only thing that ever comes up again is that he was pressured by Aegor Rivers, his brother Bitter Still, to rebel. And I don't know about you, but if you have to be pressured to rebel, by the way, it had been like 10 years at this point, and since that, and he already had like 7 sons with his wife, and it said that he wanted to marry other women. He wanted to marry Darren's sister, but again, it took too long. Like 10 years is 10 whatever, 7-10 years is too long to want us to hold that grudge. So first is being pressured by him, Bitterstill, and then Quentin Ball to rebel because he was pissed off at him, at Darren, that he couldn't be a Kingsguard, which is probably the first time in history that ever happened. The second was, we don't really have any concrete battles that Daemon ever fought, except one, the Battle of the Redgrass Field, where he died. The only, I guess, major thing about that one is it does, again, Quentin Ball shows more about him, about his exploits. Maybe George hasn't written a lot about Daemon Blackfyre and like the mini battles, because like with Robert Baratheon, you kind of hear about the 3 battles in one day, and then the Battle of the Bells, and da da da. But with Daemon, you don't get any of that. You just get Battle of the Redgrass Field. There was little fighting all over. The realm was split in two. He had his own coin, but that doesn't really do anything if they only remember you for the one battle, and that one battle you die in. And in that same battle, and I'm gonna butcher these names. Daemon Blackfyre was described as the warrior himself. The warrior is like the god warrior of this whole thing, like the seven. It's like their religion and all that. There's the 6 more, but the warrior is like the warrior spirit. Daemon was the warrior. He had Blackfyre, but he ended up fighting this other knight named Gwaine Corbray, who also had, I believe, a Valyrian sword. Which, if you don't know, Valyrian steel is like this ultimate sort of weightless steel. But again, if you're called the warrior of the day, and you're having to fight another knight, and I'm pretty sure he was a great knight, but again, it's kind of like saying this person was like the Michael Jordan, and then he ended up like missing almost every shot. It doesn't work like that. So I think Daemon Blackfyre is a little bit overhyped, simply because maybe he's one of George's favorites, or because there's not much written about him. But it seems super weird, the fact that like people call him like the perfect prince or anything like that. I'm like, he like failed in almost everything he did. And again, how do you call the warrior and you have a battle with someone for an hour? You should just cut that dude down if you're that good. At least that's how I kind of feel about it.